Hello everyone! Bonjour tout le monde! Alors, c'est CaroBD pour le Puppet Podcast on the road. I will do this podcast in English because my guests speak English. It's Sarah Nolen. Sarah seems not quite there, but I said I will start, so I will start. I'm now in Florida, in Pensacola. I send to many groups of puppeteer around different area, some link to have maybe a connection with you guys. I want to know who listened live online, who is there, who is interested to meet as a puppeteer, as a practitioner, as someone who builds stuff in their back door. I want to know who you are. I want to have conversation about what we do, why we cherish this art, this medium of communication and creation, and enjoy to put life into an animate object. So yeah, I wonder if you can write into the comment who is there, where are you? I will touring for 2 years, so I will do all across US and Canada. So I'm really ears open to have good opportunity to meet you, to show to people your work and your vision of this. So be free to just click. I'm not used to those coaching motto, but click into it, just look the channel, subscribe and thumbs up, and let's do this as a puppeteer. So I want also to talk about UNIMA. UNIMA is an association of puppeteer. It's all around the world. So sometime I know people know this, and I will also promote this fact that we are an international community. And you have Sarah is part of that. She will go to Bali, where they have their big annual get together as an association. So look at the website. I will put it down there also. If you don't know what is UNIMA, it's an international association of puppeteer or puppet lover or people who enjoy this piece of art. So yeah, I see people saying to comments different things. So maybe you have also time zone confusion, but I will stay accurate to my time zone, as Montreal and New York, Boston area. This straight line, I can say the East time. So yeah, so when you see the podcast, it will be and it said, because in Pensacola now it's 7 o'clock. So it depends, but I will always do it, as I said, at 8, because that's our world with this thing. So yeah, so basically I'm touring and I'm there for until Sunday, and after we will go, next city is Tampa and Jacksonville. So we will be quite a time in Florida, enjoy the sun. And yeah, and if you don't know what I'm doing, I'm part of Axel, a Cirque du Soleil show, and I do a giant puppet on ice. I do this it's with all of my art. I have a mic and I put the voice into that giant puppet who skates. It's basically a robot dog, the kind of best buddy of the main character, and his name is Teal. And it's a really interesting job that I get to play with all of those great skaters and singers and musicians and acrobats to make a puppet in this circus universe and just bring it there, make it breathe, make it alive. So I'm really happy. I hope everyone could see this show, because it's really a good one. It's really something I feel who brings something new to the eyes, and yeah, to circus as a circus show. So yeah, so be free to say comments there during the time we wait for Sarah. And I think I could also, like, because I will always ask kind of the same question, but sometimes the interview could go all over. I will ask those questions. I could like answer for me what is my answer, but I just want, before going into that, during we waiting Sarah, tell you that next week I will go on the pad, because every city I meet a puppeteer. That's my purpose. So next week I will have someone of Syracuse that I meet over there, and like I will go after to, I've been to Huntsville touring there, so I will have someone from Huntsville. And now I'm searching a puppeteer in Pensacola. So if you have any name that you can drop to me, just write it down. And just let me know. I will be also in Worcester, near Boston area. So I know that's good that Amy will be there. And like all of my Boston friends, I will try to make a group and have like tickets for like the puppet show place employee and resident artist. So I will see you there. And in Quebec and Montreal, I will be there in December. So if you are willing to come to Montreal during the beginning of the cold, you're really welcome. I will be also in Montreal during our tour break in March. And it's become like at the same time that the Festival Castelier. It's a great international puppet festival happening in Outremont in Montreal. And you have a lot of people who coming from all over to enjoy that. And you have this off part, we call it OOF. I was part of the creation of this festival. So I will be swinging by. And if you are a puppeteer and you want to just show up to Montreal to the OOF, you are really welcome. We have like this project request. If you want to send a project to the OOF, you can come and maybe do a performance, maybe sharing your work, bring a puppet in your backpack and make a little show. You have ice also all around the place where the festival, like the off festival happening. So you can come bring your skates and maybe skates with me and talk about puppetry on ice. So yeah, so I keep waiting for Sarah, but let's keep creating on this podcast, because the podcast is also something that we could discuss about. It's something that we could give knowledge towards this. So my first question I ask always is why, what make the art of puppetry an art that you cherish? So I could answer to that, because it's something for me really, I could say spiritual. I don't want to go into too much of weirdo stuff. It's not weirdo at all. It's spiritual in terms that the job of a puppeteer is to bring life to something who haven't. So I feel it's really, for me, vibrating, because it could give to children an education about life and death. And as I discovered the giant puppet world, oh, yeah, you appear. Yeah, here you are. Okay, I will just finish my sentences and I will drop you in the screen. So yeah, as I discovered the giant puppet influence, I saw children just get together and get into this vibration about making together a puppet moving and get like something really deep, I could say, as humanity. So that was the start of my love with puppet. And now I will introduce you to my great friend, Sarah Nolen, who is a puppeteer. And she's based now at the Puppet Show Place. She's a resident artist. She's a filmmaker. She have plenty of project all around. So she could talk to us about whatever she wants. So Sarah, you're there.
Having me, Caroline. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. And you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry that you had to vamp. We just had a long meeting for our open studios we're having here, so I apologize. But thank you for having me on this podcasting adventure, this live feed.
Yes.
Cool. I've never gone live before. I've never gone live online before, so this is very exciting.
Yeah, and it's the moment to share our job and what we do. And I will put my headphone. I think that will make the sound better if you don't hear me well. You hear me well?
I hear you great. Yeah.
We'll try with this. Sometimes it's make it less noise because maybe my computer make noise. Is it better? I saw people like writing, you put your headphones. Okay, so maybe we are good right now. So, okay, let's start.
D'accord.
D'accord. And yes, it's in English because we have like international community. But first, yes. I was talking about UNIMA, and like I introduced this project that you have. So maybe you can start with just introduce us about this travel you will do.
Right, this big travel. Oh, I'm thrilled to be part of this project. It's through UNIMA, which is the Union Internationale de la Marionnette. And I have been asked to be the director for the Three Americas portion of the presentation. So the project itself is called Four Creations, Four Continents. And basically they've divided up all of the UNIMA organizations of the world basically into four continents. So there's the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa. And so what's happening is each of these, groupings will be choosing a cast and a director from every part of that continent to present the same show 4 different ways.
Yes.
I think in 4 different languages. I'm pretty sure in 4 different languages at the International Congress in 2020. So in April of 2020. And this National Congress will be held in Bali, Indonesia, which is very exciting.
Indonesia, that's
interesting. So the piece is called Customs. And it was written by a Brazilian playwright, and he wrote this play that was basically about 20 minutes. Nikolai, what is his name? I know his last name is Nikolaevsky.
Okay, but it's fine. I think people could get more detail about the festival, because the idea is to promote also that they could maybe go there, or they could like join UNIMA. I promote that.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, every little pocket of the world pretty much has a UNIMA organization or a organization or a branch to reach out to. So even looking through the book of UNIMA, you get a little, almost like a telephone book when you join, and you get the telephone book of all the UNIMA organizations around the world. It's very exciting because you're like, Prague and
many
Spain.
Many people.
Yeah, that's exciting. But yeah, so the the group that we have is combining the UNIMAs of Canada, US, Mexico, and Latin America, and
I can wait to
Chile.
know, like, who is the Montreal represent?
Oh, it's Jessie Orr.
Oh,
Do you know Jessie?
Not personally, but the name is familiar.
But yes, so she's joining us as our Canadian representative, and then I am from the United States, and I'm the director, and then Mark Blashford is also from the US, a puppeteer, and he's going to be joining us as the cast. And then there is from Chile, we have a puppeteer from Chile. It's so funny, Caroline. Yes, because I'm talking to Cara. Wait, this is going to be nuts. I'm talking to you. So this was really hard because you came to visit us and stayed for a month, and you are Carolina.
No,
but you are Caroline, and then Carolina
Latin America.
From Chile came, and I kept going back and forth, and I still am. And then Abigail Espinola from Mexico is going to be joining us. So we're very excited because we've done one workshopping of the piece at the O'Neill Puppetry Conference, which is held in Connecticut every summer. So we did that in June, but unfortunately Abigail could not join us, and so Mark came in as a puppeteer. But then we're going to be in Montreal at the
Castelier.
At not Castelier, but I don't think we're not going to be at the festival. But Louise Lapointe has invited us to
La Maison.
Workshop there at the Maison.
La Maison des Arts de la Marionnette.
Yes, what she said. And so that'll be really fun. I'm looking forward because that's when we'll have everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be very cold, which means we have to be together because it'll be January and
bring your good jacket, good one. Yeah, so I will jump into like deep question. The first one is, what make the art of puppetry, Sarah, an art that you cherish?
An art that I cherish?
Yeah. Why? What makes it like something you? Yeah. What makes it like exciting?
For me, the magic comes from this very strange world a puppeteer inhabits, where the focus of the audience is not on me, the performer, but on the puppet. And I believe that the fact that I am also focused on the puppet and the audience is focused on the puppet creates it's almost like our joint focus like lifts this character or object or puppet into another, it's like another dimension or realm, right? I think there's something very mystical, and sometimes you're watching the puppet and it'll do something or say something that's very unexpected, and that's when I am sometimes like, whoa, I still have moments where the puppet can like take over. It really is. I know people have said this before, but it's an out-of-body experience. But I do think that there's something very magical and also something very sincere about puppetry, because I enjoy telling stories, but I don't really, ever since I was a kid, I don't really like being the center of attention. I love telling stories. And so if I was telling a story, even I remember when we were third grade, we had to tell a story to the class, and I didn't like being up in front of the class. I wanted the class to focus on something. Yeah. So I told a story, but I had a lot of props and I had a prop with like a cauldron, and I like pulled stuff out of the cauldron, and right? So it was like, don't look at me, don't look at me, but here's the story, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something really lovely about that space. And I feel the same way about, I think that maybe why I got into filmmaking as well is because I enjoyed being behind the camera. And that space, telling a story with editing, you know, and also
something
you're looking through, you're looking through a lens in both ways, you know.
Yeah, you are a bit exterior of the job.
Yeah, you're looking like through the lens, you're looking through the puppet into the world, into the audience, and there's something really lovely about being able to kind of put yourself behind, because it's not about you. And it's nice because the story is not necessarily, I mean, a lot of my stories aren't necessarily about me, so it's easy to keep my own crap out of it, you know.
That's a good wording. That's true. We leave it at the door, but it's easy because we are not the thing. How and when did your crush for puppetry happen?
My crush. Ooh,
yeah, you're like, just I want to do this. This is
my giant poster of like shirtless Obraztsov on the wall. Wow. Like an 80s icon. He was just like, I don't know. I think.
Did you remember a show or like someone who brings you an object or a puppet? Or
a lot of it was, you know, my parents exposed me to a lot of different artwork. I mean, my dad definitely inspired me with because he's an artist and a graphic designer, but he would also like bring home these movies that were always really all over the place, from like noir films to crazy animation, like Jan Svankmajer, like just kind of all over the place. And that was always really inspiring. And then my mom, with you know, being a teacher, growing up with her, and she taught children with special needs, and they basically, she, you know, had like 5 or 6 different ways to explain a concept, right? Because she would use all different kinds of props and storytelling just to like to help educate. And I thought that was really fascinating, is very like visually learning, you know. And so that was always a world that she opened up to me, was this visually learning and motor skills and just you know, learning as a way to play, you know.
Yeah, that's something.
And yeah, so I think that combination, I think possibly, I mean, if we're talking about like puppetry, I think maybe of course all the, you know, when I could get a hold of a Muppet movie from the local Video Central, you know, this is like this is pre-Blockbuster. This is like Video Central. And there was also a local video store, Vulcan Video, that I went to all the time in South Austin, where I grew up. But yes, so I think lots of movies. I didn't go to a lot of live theater.
But you are also in movie, so like the puppet and movie for you is it's really a project also.
Yeah.
What? You are about to say something. I was just going to the next question, but if you have something,
bring
the
it
next
on.
one. Okay, so in your opinion, like, what would be the best field of study or the best background for a puppeteer? Like, what? Because people arrive into puppetry from different areas. So for you,
that's a very good question.
Yeah.
For me, it was, you know, music, filmmaking, improv comedy. Like, those are the technical skills that I learned in a formal environment. So I think all three of those are very, very like intrinsically connected to puppetry. You know, sometimes I have this theory that like I think that Eisenstein's montage theory is just like puppetry, because you're juxtaposing images, you're juxtaposing materials, right? And
similar laws of
and you're limiting, right? You're limiting the frame, right? Puppetry is a very limited palette, or it can be, right? It all depends on what you want to say, because object puppetry especially, it's like a very it's amazing. It's additive. It's like this object plus this object equals meaning, or are they clashing? What's the juxtaposition? Like what? Yeah, I think that's really what are the frames you're creating? In your shows and in your puppet stories.
Yeah. So different background could make a good puppeteer or a good puppet.
Show,
and
I think that I know a lot of people come from theater, and that gives them such a great just performance ability, right? And vocal abilities can be really strong if you have a theater background. I think improv was really helpful because it helped me limit the scope of the puppetry, right? Like of the story, you know, you get the first, you want to get to the point of the show as soon as the lights go up, or as soon as the first couple lines are said, you know, it's like, oh, I understand where we are.
Where we go.
And so I think, and then play the game, right? Like finding the game in a scene was really important. And when I applied that layer to puppetry, it's like, it makes a very interesting parallel. I know it helps. It helps me edit, right? And so I'm always thinking about things in terms of editing and what's actually necessary. You know, I'm a big fan of cut, and then
get the essential.
Then you add one thing back in, right?
Yeah. That's good.
That's what my dad says with logo design. Like when you're designing a logo, you just cut, and then when it's too empty, then you add like one more thing back in. Yeah. And I think about that. I think about puppetry that way sometimes. It's like, what is absolutely necessary to tell this story? What is let's get rid of all the distractions. You know, and that's it, not only in terms of like building the puppet, but that's in terms of that's also in terms of actions, right? Yeah. Like, oh, is that gesture even necessary in this moment? Like, what is that saying? Oh, it's confusing. Let's get rid of it. So yeah, I think editing is I like to like build it all up and then cut.
Yeah, that's a good parallel. And what would
but I also think ice skating is an amazing thing to have as a technical skill and background. I think that's one of the crucial, that's one thing that I'm missing is that ice skating skill set.
One of my friends is training to back up me if something happened, like, and she learning to skate. She's a puppeteer, but it's funny how it's ability.
So your puppeteer friend is learning to skate.
Yeah. So this is another. So let's see, Camille.
It's possible.
We think to you. Let's see.
Yes, put me in line for those classes.
Yeah. So the next question is, how would you define what is a puppet? Like when we say it's a puppet in your own word.
Où est la marionnette?
Qu'est-ce que la marionnette?
Oh, sorry. Where is the puppet?
What it like? How you define this? Because sometimes I know you work with kids, so sometimes we have to.
Our artistic director Roxy Myram has a really great synthesized, very really great definition, and I'm still working on mine. It's always it's always growing and shrinking, and and depending on the group you're in front of. But what is a puppet? Not what is puppetry.
No, what is a puppet? Like, because we think object theater, but we think like, what is a puppet? What makes a puppet, and what does make a props or an object, or like...
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, me, I always think in terms of a puppet is like when you make it breathe. Mm-hmm. Like the breathing is really key. Like the fact that you put the intention of breathing into an object. Mm-hmm, so I think of that, but also sometimes I talk about the eyes, the fact that you have like a specific focus with the gravity, like how we feel with the gravity makes it alive. So that's kind of for me, but like the animate also.
Well, it's like, I want to say a puppet is an image of...
Yeah, because you're from cinema, like so that's what interesting.
It's like what is an image versus what is a physical element, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A physical element that is moved by hand to create the illusion of life.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So we could quote you at some point. Yeah, we have some video.
Wow, yeah.
Sarah Nolen.
Let me edit it a little first. But yeah, like I think that you're creating an illusion of life. Yeah. Yeah. And I like Penny Francis has a really great book called Puppetry by Penny Francis. Mm-hmm. She has a great section in there, and I go to it all the time when I'm chatting with folks about if we're doing a workshop together or something, and she has this long list of not necessarily what makes good puppetry, but what puppets are bad at. Mm. She's got a really great list in there of things that puppets do not do well.
Yeah, could you give some example for the
one of them is long, drawn out monologues.
Yeah.
Talking head puppets. Not the best. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential, right? So, yeah. But then like you make the rules and then you break the rules and then
because if we say that, maybe tomorrow, poof, someone will do it. Like led like into action.
And yeah, I'm sure it's been done very successfully before, and all of those things that all those rules you break successfully. But I think it is good to have some knowledge. Yeah, some knowledge of them. And I think when puppets, because that's the other thing, is like how much of the language can you take out? That's what I'm thinking a lot about with customs, as we're working, because it is a script that we are speaking in English, but it's going to be performed at an international conference. And one of my concerns is making sure that the action is enough to tell the story.
Yeah.
Like if we don't have the words, like we could still we still understand what's happening. Mm-hmm. And I was very happy because I spoke with Alice Gottschalk was there at the conference, and she told me afterwards that her son, who is about, I want to say 7 or 8 or 9, she said he doesn't speak English, but he was paying attention to our workshop performance the whole time, and was engaged and was like laughing at parts and stuff, which I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's a success for a puppeteer. Yeah. To cross the language barrier is also successful with puppetry.
I think
that. So do you think the art of puppetry is in an ascension, or it becoming less popular? Do you think we are into... I ask this to everyone, and I find it really interesting.
I feel like for the past 30 years, there's just been articles saying it's the golden age of puppetry, right? Like we've been in the golden age of puppetry for like 30 years or something. But I don't know. I feel as though it depends on the type of puppetry, right? Because I do see a lot more, you know, I don't really have my like thumb on the pulse of Broadway or anything like that. But you know, you do see things, you know, referencing, you know, Julie Taymor and War Horse, and what about Lion King? But you know,
yeah, we have any main player.
I think we are. I want to believe we are, but I am also, you know, doing children's puppet shows as a touring company, as a solo touring company. You know, I do team up with and do duo shows with like 2 others, but you know, for the most part, it's me. And I'm looking around, and a lot of, well, there's a good balance of new puppeteers coming in and like doing it. You know, they're doing like the live shows for kids, right? It's very exciting, and I think that's really, really great.
In Boston, like you and Honey, are really, like, for me, I was really impressed just to show up in the school and here it is, and you build everything from it's amazing. Like I find others like
my shadow show wasn't necessarily like boof. It was more like, all right, kids, in 2 hours you'll see a puppet show. You were there for that. But yes, it is like it is a pretty magical transformation when you can go into any space. Because when I do Fairy Tailor, I literally am unpacking a tailor shop. So when kids come in the space and I've turned their like gym into a tailor shop, into this like cozy tailor shop, I love when kids walk in because they're like, oh, you know.
Yeah, they love the fact that it's in our gym, in our school. Sometimes we underestimate the effect of coming towards them, how they, oh my God, what will happen?
Well, and that's in Penny Francis's book. She talks about transformation and how transformation is just one of the main things that puppetry does so well, and I think that includes space transformation. Right.
Yeah. Totally.
It's magical in that way. Yes, I do think there is an ascension. I'm interested to see, especially with, you know, children's media and all of these, you know, types of television and streaming services, and how that media and entertainment landscape, how that will infuse puppetry, if at all, into it, right?
Yeah,
I think, and I do think that there is, with things like Stranger Things and other movies, well, at least in the first season, to really rely on practical effects. So I do think that in this world of maybe not necessarily like a puppetry ascension, but more of a practical like textural ascension, right? I think people are wanting and craving, you know, actual and physical textures and practical effects and things of that nature, because I think we're so bombarded by you know, animation and advertisements that are all, you know, so clean. I think there's this real need for something a little more gritty. And puppetry can be really gritty. Of course, it can be clean and beautiful.
It could be a power, like the skin, like something like more deep.
Where's the depth, right? Because with animation, it can be so flat. There's only a couple layers, right? And then with I think it's really interesting seeing like all of the like shows at Disney World that include puppetry now, you know, like Frozen and Little Mermaid and all this stuff. And that's really interesting.
I think we will have job. Our job is not really in danger with this ascension. But my last question is for you. What is your biggest purpose as a puppeteer? Like, is it to play in front of a huge crowd, to write the best story, to get the best storytelling with puppet? Like, do you have, like, I know you are also working for film. So what is your purpose your biggest purpose to achieve, like, in your career? Or
I want, my biggest purpose is to help children and help them learn, and just like my mom did by working with all those different visual ways to educate. I think doing that through puppetry, whether it's social emotional or even right now we're doing a show with social justice. I think all of these much needed lessons about helping and empathy and kindness are all lessons that can be taught through and with the tool of puppetry. And for a long time I said, I can only do this through children's television. And but what I'm realizing is I didn't know the audience, right? So even though I made a couple of films and shorts with puppets, it's really interesting how now I'm getting to learn that audience face to face, which I never really babysat when I was in high school or anything like that. So I didn't actually know kids. Like, I didn't understand them for a long time. I was like, well, I'm just gonna make movies for them. I'll just make films for them. But now I'm actually getting to know them face to face, and I think that is so powerful, right?
Yeah.
Getting little girls and boys to come up to me and talk about the same character that they were inspired by, and it's not necessarily like a gendered role. It's it's object puppet, so both of them relate. So I think there are some things that puppetry does really, really well, especially for younger kids and teenagers. I don't know. I think teenagers are kind of being left out of the fray right now. So I don't know. I think a lot about life lessons and teaching and using puppetry as a way to uplift. And to circumvent the nagging education or the the finger waving education.
Make example or humanity, bringing some masses toward the emotion and just I'm really with you on this. I really agree.
Yeah, and of course I love performing for adults, but adults are pretty easy because they're at the point where they're empathetic, and they are like, you get on stage and they're, even if it's a bad joke, they're like, they'll kind of give you, because I got rid of my stage fright by doing improv for a couple of years on an improv stage in Dallas, but then I started performing for kids, and kids are just like, that's not funny. They'll tell you, and that was just shocking. So they're a tougher crowd, and you got to be ready to adapt with them. And the development brackets are so
and the vocabulary also.
You gotta be ready for anything. So I think this time right now, just performing my own solo stuff for kids is so fascinating. I'm learning a lot.
Yeah,
I'm learning a lot.
That's
in front of kids. So I'm really enjoying it.
That's amazing. So to conclude, I think maybe you have a friend you want to present to us. Maybe, and like I saw in your back, maybe you have someone that you have under.
Let me see. Hold on.
I always like to conclude with something it could bring a concrete concrete memory for the audience to see one of.
Well, let me see.
It could be something unfinished. It could be like whatever. Yesterday, last week, Matthew bring us like 2 characters. So
wow. Well, we're in the middle of my studio space, so
yeah, I know you have plenty of wonderful stuff.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Like that.
So be patient, people. Be patient. Oh,
hold on.
It's almost a castellet. This.
Welcome to Sarah.
I build some for your information, people. I build puppet in this area one evening, and yeah, it's good memory to see this space. Oh la la! Who is this?
Okay. All right. Hold on, kids. All right. So first, let's see. Okay, Caroline, you need to first knock on the door.
Okay. So yeah. So tuck.
Okay, and then who is that? Wait.
It's Caroline from the Puppet Podcast on the road.
Oh, what do you want? Okay, the door open. What do you want?
I want to know you a bit.
Okay, hold on. So this is a puppet that I crudely made as an example for like one of our things.
Oh yeah. You're green a bit. Are you sick? Maybe you need vacation.
Yeah, I don't feel so good.
Yeah. Are you a zombie for Halloween or?
Happy Halloween. Yeah, I think it's just this really crazy little
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein-y. I don't know why she's green. Yeah, what'd you do? This is the worst paint job ever. It makes me sick.
But we accept everyone. That's cool.
Yeah, so she's really funny. She's not done, but yeah, it's basically like model magic, and it was a mech we made with kids this summer that I
and
did.
The mechanic of the mouth is,
and the mouth is so it's a little spring inside the mouth. So
yeah. Wow.
So the mech is in there, and there's like a little dowel, and the spring comes down and goes down through, and we have like so
the secret.
So there's a little trigger here, and then I use it's like for kids, so it's like, what do you have around the house? So this is just a top of a bottle.
Amazing.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think she's like some crazy. I don't know. I just end up making for a lot of my pieces. I don't know why, but yeah. So she's got some spirit.
Yeah.
So she's funny. I think. I'm still working on her. Okay, goodbye.
Don't start coughing for the end of this podcast. Too much emotion. Hey. So
and then the other puppet I have is I can do a shameless plug. I can do a shameless plug.
I'm sorry. Okay, bring it.
What?
I'm coughing. I'm getting into an allergy thing going on.
Oh,
yeah.
You're sick like my grandma. Are you sick like my grandma?
No.
I am little. Oh, you are sick. I am Little Red Riding Hoodie.
Oh.
And the lighting. Oh, this is harsh. Maybe, yeah, that's better. So this is Little Red Riding Hoodie. And she's just like a little hoodie. Boop.
Oh.
Boop. And then when I perform the show, she comes to life. And everybody loves me.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, so she's kind of just like an infused object puppet, right? So it's, yes, I put a mouth plate in there and a bit of a brain, but it really is just a little hoodie.
That's cool. Yeah, puppetry is from inspiration, so you can get good stuff going on. Thank you so much, Sarah, to be with us on the third Puppet Podcast on the road.
I can't wait to see you when you come to Worcester.
Worcester. Yeah, I will let you know all the details, so we will be in touch about the show. So thank you, and thank you for everyone of watching this. So let's promote more puppetry art, and let's keep going. So, yeah. So thank you, everyone, and subscribe.
Can I high five you?
Yeah, like this.
Like this for you?
No, like.
This. 1, 2, 3.
See you.
Okay. Bye.